Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of the Telecaster build. First thing I'm going to do is unplug this air purifier because I'm not going to suffer through editing a 40-minute video with that constantly on. That drove me nuts. I had to try and fit backing music in there just to... Never mind, it was horrible. Alright, so we are going to go over a few things. I've had a while to look at this thing. I just can't bring myself to paint over top of this beautiful looking wood. I just like it too much. It is cool. I've never seen a guitar that looks like this before. So I'm gonna roll with it actually. It was kind of an accidental finish, but I'm in love with it, to be honest. The only thing I am gonna do is, my original was I'm gonna do a white and black burst, and then I wanted the wood grain to show through underneath of it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm still going to stick with a burst, which I already kind of did, you know, with the torch, but I'm going to actually paint the edges black still because there's some spots that I just don't like where, like right here, didn't take stain, for instance. See right there, it's just a little blotch. Didn't take stain. Kind of in here, didn't take stain the greatest. Since this is made out of several boards, one, two, three, 4 boards. You can see cracks where they meet, so I want to get rid of all those too. And if I leave it how it is, you'll be able to see that obviously through the clear coat. But if I paint, I think I can cover those up pretty good. So I'm gonna burst it still with black. And then I got some hardware parts that came in. I have an authentic new Fender ashtray bridge. Here's the old, not name brand, and here's the new name brand. Whether it makes a difference, I don't know, but I thought it'd be cool. I liked how it says Fender on it. So since this is a build, people can at least visibly see that I did a good job, you know, putting it back together, and I used quality parts. So what I needed this for was the first thing I ordered, and I also have these genuine Fender caps, I guess. I don't really know what to call them, but what they do is I mentioned this is going to mount up here just like that, and before I had to load my strings through the back of this bridge through these holes in the back. We call that a top load. So there are holes up here that you could do a back load, but I never drilled the holes, or I don't know if I even knew what those were for. This one only has the back load option. So now I can mark out exactly where my holes need to be drilled, and then I can drill my holes through the body, and then these will go in the back right here, and they'll just be like a decorative cap. So here's the cap, and you can see that little hole is where you feed your guitar string through. There's a ball on the end of the string that'll catch inside of this, and then you can crank down on your tuners. There's a crack now between the walnut and the rest of it because that wood filler burnt out when I torched it, which I don't know why I didn't think that through, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, so the first thing I gotta do is take this and line up the old holes, and take my new hardware and just kind of lightly assemble it. So this kind of decides everything, and it's a little crooked, tiny bit, ever so slightest. It might drive me crazy. So either I fix it now or just make my piece forever. The only thing I can do is to drill new holes. The problem with that is it'll probably overlap the old holes. Okay, I didn't plan on doing this yet, but I do have my pickups in, so I'll just slide one in here to make sure it fits. But what I went with were these. So these are Seymour Duncan pickups. I went with these because the reviews were amazing. Decided to get these instead of Fender. It sounds silly, but remember what I said about how like that all my hardware was stamped with real Fender. You know, it's a genuine part. So I like that it actually says Seymour Duncan on it. so people know that they're getting a quality part. Not that I plan on selling this, it's just when people see it, you know, I want them to see that it's not just any old shabby build like with the other parts. If I just threw like a Fender one that didn't have any stamps on it, it would literally just look like the old crappy one that came with the kit. So what I want to do is throw my pickup in here, line it up a little where it's going to be, just to make sure it's going to fit in the body. I also need the pick guard. So when you mount up your neck, you want your strings to run over top of these just right and be perfectly in the middle, you know, of the fretboard. And you don't have one too far off an edge or something. So I looked up a picture. Let me show you. So this is a Telecaster worth $1,400. You can see it does have a tiny little gap. So I'll be able to pull this back about, I'm gonna go right to this edge here. So I'm gonna go right there. It'll cover the gap on this side though, the hole right here. It'll cover it on this side, so the only side I'll have to worry about is here now. I think I can come up with something pretty good to get that filled. As far as this goes, let's make sure the pickup will fit. So it's going to be right there. And yeah, the pickup threads will fit great. I'm gonna punch this hole there, so. Actually pretty good. I think I will start there. Oh no, my drill press doesn't extend out enough. Well, I don't think I have a choice but to do it by hand, so I'm just gonna have to be very, very careful. I'm going to measure my stopping point. Okay, that's my depth. And here's what I came up with. I'm gonna take this little level and put it on here. And there's a little notch that I can line up my drill with. Should be dead center, and then I'll just watch. Basically, these two are the only two I really have to worry about. And like right there would be level. So I'm gonna go really slow and then just watch my bubbles and try and sort of make a drill press. So here goes nothing. Alright. Not as bad as I thought. So now I gotta get it square before I mark my others. My battery died, but once I got this end one set, it kept this nice and square. Alright, I had a phone call, but I think I left off where I'm just gonna punch these out and drill them. I'm through. Okay. Cool. Okay, I got my holes. Now I gotta go figure out which size that biggin is. Let's see if it starts. I don't want to install them yet, but I think maybe I can. Yep, it'll go. Okay, I got around to filling in the cracks here. So here's my idea. It may sound a little silly, but I'm going to use black Flex Seal and fill it. I'm going to use it like wood filler and fill in these cracks on both sides of this, so that way they'll be black. I don't want it to stain the walnut is the thing, so I want to be able to wipe it off. And it doesn't stain, that's good. Yeah, I think that'll work. So I'll just start at the front here. It is visibly darker. Flex Seal, hope that dries. It's just wet. I'll let it dry first, see what happens, and then I might run sandpaper, because then it'll help level out any high spots. While I wait for this to dry, can't really do much, but I do want to show you a little something, an idea I have with my pick guard. Okay, so a lot of guitars have names. There's no one out there. Dogs are getting huffy. Like this is called the Rat Rod because it's styled after like a 50s Rat Rod style car. They also have the Penguin and the Falcon, and there's an Irish Rover. Eddie Van Halen, for instance, had the Frankenstrat. So I was thinking maybe I would do a theme with my guitar since I'm going to be completely redoing it. And last year, when I was coming up with names for my YouTube channel, I bought this logo. And what it is this little rabbit guy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this black. So I need to make another one of these, just this size. And then I'm going to put it like right around here. And then when I paint it, underneath will be white. But I need to get this stuck on there. And then I'll Scotch-Brite this. And then I'll probably paint it right away today. We just have to go ahead and make one of these out of vinyl, which I have a machine that makes them. So I just got to get that set up and get at her. So basically I have to hop on my iPad, and I already have it measured out. It's 2 inches tall, so each square is 1 inch. So there's my little bunny, and then you just go to, hit make, and the machine should do its thing. That's just a sticky pad, and the vinyl sticks to it, which is why it's full of dog hair, because there's like no way to clean it off. In that, you can see it, I'm trying to get the glare, but you can see the little rabbit. I just have to take like these little tweezers and kind of pull the vinyl back until I get my rabbit kind of pulled out of there. Got him pulled out. So now all I gotta do is take this transfer tape and try and transfer it over. There's no one out there. These are just vinyl, just like any other, decal. I'm sure everyone's familiar with decals. Alright, now I just line up where I want it. Okay. Now you just stick them on there. Do this. This might be the hard part because like this little mouth might not stick, who knows. Ah, it's stuck. Good. I was worried about that. Alright. Man, that worked fantastic. So now when I paint black, I'll have to peel this up and it'll be white. I'm going to rub it with my Scotch-Brite until this is kind of a matte finish, and then that'll give it a nice surface to adhere, for the paint to adhere to it. I got this scuffed down. There's not a lot of shine to it anymore. Should be good. And then the other design I came up with was on the headstock. I'm gonna do a little carrot, and that's over top of my brand in there. You can barely see it, but it should show through, I'm hoping. I'm gonna do this pick guard first. I'm gonna use this wax and grease remover on it, get it cleaned up, and then I'll spray it. Just gonna kind of let that sit for a moment and get tacky, and then I'll apply a second coat. I'm gonna go ahead and start sanding this body down. Yeah, I got it off there pretty good. Do a once over, make it fast. Alright, I think I'm going to spray my burst. I've never done this before, but I've looked up some how-to videos. And what we're going to do to create a burst This will actually be considered a 3-tone burst because I did burning, staining, and then this will be the darkest layer of the burst. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray from the middle out. That way none of it gets in the middle, and that should create a burst effect. There's all kinds of different ways to do it. You could do like a teardrop shape in the middle. I'm actually just going to outline it, kind of a thin line. That's the goal anyways, so I'm gonna give it a go. Alright, so that's my burst. It looks good. I oversprayed on here, and then there's a little bit of splatter. There's a couple little spots, but I think I'll probably be able to get them sanded out. So I'm just gonna let them dry for a little bit now and come back to it later. Been a good weekend now, and my paint has cured somewhat. I'm gonna do some more layers of paint, but for now this is what the headstock looks like. You can see my little carrot in the light that I gotta peel off yet. You can see some sand marks inside here. It's not perfect yet, so I'm gonna do a few more coats of paint. Here's the pick guard. Got almost a texture to it. So when I do my next coats, I have a little technique I'm going to try to fix that. Okay, and here's the guitar body. You can see there's a little bit of splatter, which I can sand. I think I'm going to do one more coat. I still have to do the edges, so I'm going to do that maybe today. And then the back, a little bit of splatter around the middle. Just very minimal, but I'm going to try and sand that out. Same thing, I'll probably do one more coat. Looks really good though. I'm really happy with it. As you can tell, I haven't painted the back yet because I got some new tuners. They just came in the mail right now. That's what I've been waiting for. So these are genuine Fender locking tuners. They're supposed to help with tuning stability. I ordered these right away because, if you remember, I was worried about. So here's the old one where they sat, and they had a screw hole right there, and it came, the edge of this comes all the way to the end. From the front though, it does look okay. It's doable. These new ones though, the tuning peg sticks out a little bit further. I will have to re-drill these holes because these don't have screws. They just have these little grooves in them that just grab it, and then this cap just threads in there, and that's actually what holds it down. So I have to drill new holes before I paint, and then I also am gonna have to fill out these other ones with some wood filler. But I just wanted to see if it would fit, and you can see on the end that corner sticks out just a tiny bit. It might be silly, but I could almost angle it down like that. I don't know. I'm trying to look in the camera and see what it looks like. Yeah, be nice to get it up there. It's really not the end of the world that that little corner sticks out. As it turns out, I do not have the right size drill bit to finish the neck. I have all my small ones missing because they've busted off in the camper. So the one I need is the one size smaller than this one, and I do not have it. I'm sure I do somewhere in this house or in my camper or my garage, but I couldn't find one. So I gotta move on to the next thing until I get one. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and sand out all these little blemishes. I'll start in the back, try and get these spots out of here, and then once I go around and repaint, I'm going to do one more coat before I leave for Texas. I'll be gone to Texas for a week, filming a trip for my other YouTube channel. But while I'm there for the week, I'm going to spray this before I leave and then let it cure for the whole week before I try any clear coating. Alright, I'm going to go back over and paint this. Go back around it. I'm going to try and get a finer mist, which I'll show you how I'm going to attempt to do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this little mason jar. I'm going to get some hot water. Yeah. Then I will insert my can of paint. Oh, that sucks. Folgers can. I need some more now. Okay. Attempt to insert my paint inside of the hot water, and then I will just let this sit in here for a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes or something. So as you can probably guess, that's going to heat up the paint and it's going to be a much finer mist when it sprays, hopefully giving me more of an even look, more like it came out of a gun rather than coming out of a can. The reason I'm having problems is because it is wintertime in Iowa and we are hardly above 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's pretty cold in the basement. So it's just not, super warm, so that paint is pretty thick. So I'm just trying to heat it up and make it more liquidy. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry, but I think that's exactly where I want it. It's much finer mist. It looks way better. It's been a hot minute now. It's been at least 2 weeks since that guitar body has cured. I've been to Texas since. I still need to go around the edges at least one more time. I didn't show that I did that on camera, but I taped up the guitar body and went around the edges. I need to do that one more time, but the problem is I need another can of paint, and I'm having troubles finding that paint right now. So I can't really do anything with the guitar body until I get that done. But for now, I did buy some of these little dinky drill bits, and so I can drill my holes for my guitar tuners now. I've already got this set up to where it needs to be, so it won't go all the way through. So I already have my holes kind of, you can see at the end there, they're marked out. What that is I tried taking a little nail and seeing if I couldn't set the tuning pegs that way. It didn't really work out, so. So I just need to drill out these. I might have to go the next drill bit bigger. We'll see. All it's gotta do is get in there. I don't really want to. I think I'm gonna have to go the next size bigger. Another thing, if you notice, it's crooked. And I did that on purpose, I remember, because if I went any further up, where it's like supposed to be, I guess, it would cut into the wood on the end. So I went and gave it a little more space and did it a little crooked. Cosmetically, it might not look as nice, but I decided functionality is above cosmetic for this purpose, and it won't look that bad. But what I have to decide now is, do I want to follow and keep all of them crooked? Kind of stagger them all like that, just to make it uniform. The other option is to do it how it's supposed to be. How bad does that look to have them all be the same and then one sticking out? Not horrible, but I think uniform would be better, as long as the peg can clear the wood on the headstock. And I think it would. But I have to decide right away if that's what I want to do, because I gotta drill the holes before I can paint. I got it! So, it's good and flush now. I should be able to press that in there pretty good with the screw, but it's in there really good. All I had to do is go in with my drill bit, kind of oblong the holes, just a tiny bit, but worked out. The next step is just to drill the rest of these. That means I have to decide if I want to stagger them at an angle or go straight and have the one kind of pointing out the end. I think I'm gonna go all of them uniform, like I said, because I think that the clearance will be fine. At least if they're even, kind of doesn't draw attention to it, so it's not as noticeable. that's what I'm gonna do. All right, I just dropped them in, kind of pressed them into place, get an idea what it's gonna look like. Yeah, that's not too bad. Looks uniform. It's good. They all clear, just barely. So that's how it will be. I'm pretty happy with it. All right, I got new paint. Tracked it down, found out O'Reilly's sells the paint I need. So I got 2 cans of this premium paint. As you can see, I got the neck painted with its first coat too, finally. I'm going to do the second coat now, and then I need to put this in some hot water. I'm gonna go with a finer mist. I just sprayed this on whatever temperature this was at yesterday. Just to let it sit overnight, get a nice first coat, something to stick to. I'm debating whether I want to paint this pick guard. The pick guard looks amazing, but there's a tiny little speck. You will never be able to see it. Let's make sure you're not seeing any dust. But it's right where my finger is, right here. You can see next to the screw hole, there's like a tiny little blotch. It's like one flew out of the can and just went bleh. So I'm kind of debating whether I want to spray this one more time is what I'm getting at. But the body needs one more coat along the edge. Other than that, there was a spot, yeah, right here. It ran just a tiny bit. And you can't actually tell unless you're looking at it in a glare. So one more coat should cover that up. What I'm going to do next with that body, instead of hanging it like I have been, I'm going to just prop it with something, and then the angle of the can kind of goes this way, like a fan. So I'm going to keep it flat and level, and then have that fan just evenly go around that for hopefully its final coat. That'll be its third coat. But this video is starting to get a little lengthy, so I'm just going to be spraying away and letting these dry. It's going to take a while. I got some work to do to the camper now, so keep an eye out for that new video. I don't know when it'll be out. Haven't even started filming it yet, but I got some materials for the project at least. But yeah, as far as this guitar goes, I just got some spraying to do. So be sure to hit subscribe to keep following along with all this. Be sure to hit the like, comment away, all that crap. I'm also finally part of the YouTube affiliate program. No, I don't know what it's called. It's called like the affiliate program though, where if you click on links for products, it helps the channel out. So I signed up for that. So if you ever want to purchase any of these products, check the links, I guess, and then maybe it'll support me. And then if you haven't yet, you can watch that Texas video that I'll have a video card at the end. Check that out and support that channel too. It's all me. See you guys.
Christmas trees on fire, Santa's home.